Well, welcome, Turbo Ethorians, and today we are doing a little something off the cuff. We are going to cover Star Wars Battlefront Beta, maybe give ourselves like a little impression on it. So, Mike, I would just want to have you kind of take lead over here. I wanted to see where you wanted to go with this because just so many things we could really go over about this.
It's been a pretty exciting weekend for anyone who's been looking forward to this game or anyone just kind of into gaming in general. This was, if anyone who was listening to our last week's news roundup show probably would be a little curious why I got so excited, because I said I wasn't even going to download it.
Yes.
And then I immediately downloaded it as soon as we finished the show and dove right in. And boy, from the first battle I played, I was really hooked in. It really impressed me. I mean, the presentation I thought in this game is beyond fantastic. Mm-hmm. I have always been kind of a fan of the Battlefront series. I've always been a fan of the Battlefield series. I've kind of teetered off of it in recent years for various reasons we won't get into. But this one was really exciting. I thought they really brought a lot of life to the Star Wars world and probably gave you the most real experience of what a battle in this universe is probably actually like. It felt intense, the way things were zipping around, the explosions, just really exciting game.
Definitely gives you the very, probably the truest experience you can really have, as far as graphically and just the lore and everything's really alive around you. I think it's very that's a great way. They couldn't have picked a better way to present this game. Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. I mean, especially with Walker Assault, such an iconic battle from the movies is the Battle of Hoth, and to just nail it the way they nailed it, you felt exactly like you were there, and it's so much fun to dive into the Star Wars universe. Anyone who's a big Star Wars fan like myself is definitely got to be excited about that, and I can't wait to see what other iconic battles from the movies are getting thrown into this mix.
Yeah, and I had a good time with it too. What modes were there, and what were the different ones, and what were we able to actually play with?
So the main modes for the online, which are the ones I spent most of my experience on it playing the online modes, were the the drop pod, where you had to secure various of the little escape pods on, I think Celeste was the planet. The lava one, which really cool environment. That's the one. It was the smaller scale of the battles, no vehicles, no planes. I actually liked that mode better. I thought that kind of, without having to deal with the AT-ATs blowing you up and all that great stuff. I thought the closeness of the battles there was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And then Walker Assault, obviously the second mode, still a really good level. I mean, it looked exactly like the movie, which really was awesome. And obviously it's cool being able to go into AT-STs, was fun to drive, and I actually kind of got a hang of the flying.
Really?
That
is surprising.
And I was starting to get into that. I'm actually kind of looking forward to maybe playing the full-on space battle modes.
Did you crash your ship? Did you crash into Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader?
I did kamikaze some AT-ATs.
What? Nice.
But not necessarily intentionally. But yeah, I mean, I actually, that's the one thing I never actually got to try the hero power up. The one time I found it, the game ended before I could even boot it up.
Boo.
The one, obviously, that was a fun mode. I do have a little gripe with it. I felt it was really hard to win with the rebels on that side.
Yeah.
They said, I know you didn't get too much time to play around with that mode, but the actual, you couldn't really seem to use the speeders to trip up the walkers until the last stage, and there wasn't really enough ways to do damage, I felt, on the walkers in the first two. So by the time you really have a chance to kill them, they're practically about to win the game. So I thought that was a little tough in that mode. I can't wait to see what the other online modes are, because there are a bunch more they showed, and but I think of the two, I like the drop pod. I didn't spend too much time with the non-online modes.
I was more of a fan of that because as people may or may not know, I'm just more of a fan of co-op. I'd rather work together than work against each other, and I think it presents a nice challenge. You're kind of doing the same thing as the online, you're securing the pods, but at the same time, you just have waves of stormtroopers just coming in at you from all angles, and I think at the very least it's a very good way to break into the game to kind of get an idea of what's going on, that was the same demo that they offered at PAX, by the way. So I got more of a hands-on, actually able to complete it this time around. And I just think it was, I think it's a good icebreaker, in my opinion.
That's a good point. And that was on Tatooine, wasn't it? That level. So you did kind of get a third little look at a planet, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, and but I think as much as we're praising this, I think it's not without flaws. I mean, my biggest thing about playing against other people was that the game kind of manages to like alienate like new casual players to like people that are more experienced in the first-person shooter genre. So like when you have like all the items and like cards, like basically your abilities to play out your character, like when it's all locked away and you have to level up, it's not easy to level up if people already have it, you know, have invested the time and have it all unlocked already and are destroying you from the get-go. I mean, didn't you experience the same thing?
Yeah, that's something I've experienced really with most online shooters these days, you know, especially considering, you know, I'm probably going to hold off just because Fallout comes out at the same time. But then, you know, I do worry, like, by the time I get around to picking this game up, like, am I going to be so far behind? I mean, I'm decent at shooters. I'm not great by any means, as the videos of my gameplay experience will probably show. But, you know, is it going to be a pain? And I did notice, like, in past Battlefield games, EA ones, they had you the little cheap you can pay to just unlock the full class. They did say there's going to be none of that in this one, so there's going to be no microtransactions.
That is kind of surprising, to be honest. I thought they would totally capitalize on that.
Well, they claim there's not going to be any. We'll see if they backtrack, if they pull a Kojima on us. Or Konami. No, I'm not going to put it on Kojima. He's gone.
Yeah.
But Konami definitely backtracked on it.
But what else are we looking for in this game, do you think?
I can't wait to just see the other modes. I want to see how, like you said, the more cards will play out. You know, are like certain things just going to become like totally OP? Are the other game modes just going to be more the same? Are they going to really vary up the gameplay? And is there going to be a way to maybe wean newer players into the experience where they're not just being dumped against higher level skill players?
Simple matchmaking would just be the trick, and maybe they already have that up for their sleeve. I haven't read too much into it, but at the very least, if they can do that, you know, Splatoon can do it, kinda. So if they can do it, kind of, then maybe they could do it too.
It's not a perfect science, but I think, you know, obviously I think taking part in the smaller modes before you jump right into Walker Assault's probably going to be, you know, a good way to do it, get your feet wet, but...
Without a doubt. And ultimately, are we going to get this game?
As I said, if it didn't come out, like I think it actually comes out the same day as Fallout 4.
Oh, that's terrible.
So Fallout 4, the RPG fan inside me definitely beats the shooter fan, and that's going to be taking up most of my time. I will get it down the road, but I'm probably not going to get it day one. Though the demo did really impress me. It made me more excited for the game than I initially was. It's still not enough to beat out Fallout.
Yeah, I think it just solidifies, you know, what is being presented in the game, and I think it was a really good idea to do this, considering that EA kind of had like left a bad taste in people's mouth with Battlefield and its total glitchness going on.
Yeah, that launch was pretty bungled, so this was a good way to show off a product, show that, you know, I mean, obviously there's some technical flaws, we're not going to hold that against a beta, but, you know, it's definitely showed off a really impressive product, and I think has gotten a lot of Star Wars fans excited.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm glad like we got to dive into this and really talk about it. So, really quick, if you like what we had to say, let us know in the comments below. Let us know on Twitter, @TurboEther. You can also check out our other videos at turboether.com, and also follow us on Facebook at Facebook/TurboEther. On that note, folks, take care, and may the Triforce be with you.
Excellent.